It was supposed to be a normal Sunday in Central Park. The kind of peaceful day where the world slows down, families laugh together, and for a brief moment, everything feels okay. But for millionaire Richard Bennett, life hadn't felt okay in nearly 6 years. And on that Sunday, under a sky that couldn't decide whether to shine or weep, it all came crashing down. The story begins with the innocent scream of a child. "Daddy! That's my brother!" Those words, screamed in high-pitched clarity by his 6-year-old daughter Lily, cut through the busy air like a blade. Richard turned, confused. His daughter was pointing to a boy across the park, thin, dusty, perhaps 9 or 10, selling lemonade from a cracked stand with crooked lettering that read, "Help my mom, 50 cents a cup." Richard's heart stuttered. Brother? What was she talking about? His daughter didn't have a brother. At least, not anymore. 6 years ago, Richard had lost his son in a tragic accident, or so he had believed. His wife, Elena, had disappeared with the baby after a terrible argument. Postpartum depression, the doctor had said. The police searched for months. Her car was found near a bridge, empty. Everyone assumed the worst. She had jumped, taking the baby with her. Richard's world collapsed. He never remarried. He never stopped blaming himself. He threw himself into his work, built his tech company into a billion-dollar empire, and raised Lily, his daughter from a previous relationship, the best he could. But something in him remained hollow. He lived with the ache of loss and guilt, every day, pretending to the world that he had moved on. Until today. Richard stared at the boy. There was something hauntingly familiar in the shape of his eyes, the way he tilted his head, even the way he blinked. Slowly, as if moving through water, he approached the lemonade stand, his heart pounding. "Hey there," he said gently. The boy looked up, guarded but polite. "Hi, sir. Want some lemonade? 50 cents. Richard forced a smile and nodded, dropping a $20 bill on the table. "Keep the change." The boy's eyes widened. "Wow, thank you. My mom's sick. We need money for medicine and rent." "What's your name, son?" "Michael." The name hit him like a bullet. Michael. That was the name Elena had wanted for their baby. But surely, it couldn't be. "Michael what?" "Michael Sorensen," the boy answered hesitantly. "My mom says I don't need to tell strangers our last name." Sorensen. Elena's maiden name. Richard's legs buckled. He staggered backward, collapsing onto a nearby bench, clutching his chest. Lily rushed over. "Daddy! What's wrong?" He couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. His mind was spinning, memories flooding back, of Elena's eyes, her voice, her smile when she held the baby. Could she have survived? Could she have lied, hidden, protected their son all this time? "Where's your mom?" Richard whispered. "She's in the building across the street," Michael said. "She's sick. I do this every weekend to help." Richard stood up shakily. His mind told him to wait, to think, to call someone. But his heart pushed his feet forward like a man possessed. He knocked on the door of the crumbling apartment. After a moment, it opened slowly. And there she was. Elena. Pale, thinner, older, but undeniably her. Her hand went to her mouth. Her eyes widened. "Richard." She nearly fainted, bracing herself against the doorframe. Silence stretched between them, thick and sharp. Richard's face was pale, lips trembling. "Why?" he finally managed. Tears streamed down Elena's face. "I thought you'd take him from me. I wasn't well. I was scared. And then, when I tried to come back, so much time had passed. I thought you'd moved on. I didn't know how to fix it." Richard stepped inside. Lily clung to his leg, confused, but sensing something enormous was happening. "I thought you both were dead," he whispered. "I know," she said, her voice breaking. "And I'm sorry. Every single day, I wished I had done things differently." Richard knelt in front of her, the emotions overwhelming him. "He's my son." Elena nodded, collapsing into his arms. "Yes. And he's a good boy. Brave. Smart. Just like you." Behind them, Michael stood at the doorway, watching his mom sob in the arms of a stranger, his heart tugging in confusion and curiosity. "Mom?" he asked. Elena turned. "Michael, sweetheart, this is your dad." The boy froze. Slowly, he looked up at Richard, unsure, wide-eyed. Richard opened his arms. And in that moment, Michael ran to him. Lily squealed with joy. "I told you he was my brother." That night, Richard didn't return to his mansion. Instead, he sat on the cracked sofa in Elena's small apartment, holding his son in one arm and his daughter in the other. The television flickered in the background, forgotten. The world outside was still cruel and fast, but inside that room, something had been healed. Something sacred. In the weeks that followed, Richard made arrangements. A proper doctor for Elena, new clothes for Michael, a safe and warm home where they could all be together. It wasn't easy. There were tears, arguments, therapy sessions, but there was also laughter, late-night pancakes, and bedtime stories shared between a father and the son he thought he'd lost forever. Richard stepped down temporarily from his company. For once, he wasn't a billionaire CEO. He was just a dad. A man trying to make up for lost time. One evening, as they sat watching the sunset from their new garden, Michael asked, "Do you think things happen for a reason?" Richard looked at him, then at Lily, and finally at Elena, now smiling, healthier, and radiant again. "I think sometimes life breaks us," he said. "But sometimes, it brings the broken pieces back together even stronger." And that's what life had done for him. It took everything. And then gave him back something better. An unbreakable family. Inspiration. This story teaches us that love never dies. No matter how much time passes, no matter how broken things get, healing is possible. Family can be lost, but also found again. All it takes is a little hope, a little courage, and a child's voice to remind us of what really matters.